Hey YouTubers, it's Janine Watkins again reading an excerpt for you from Sonder Lives or Sonder Lives. Either way, it's from chapter 8 called Customer Service, and it's picking up right after Cassiopeia is woken by a couple lights that are stirring from a nearby hovercraft. So we'll pick up right from there. Flash. That evening, giant beams of light flooded Cassiopeia's flattened world, causing her to stir awake. Frantically, she tellies, I'm here, on this hill, next to the trees, I'm here. After she says this over and over again, to the brink of exhaustion, the hovercraft drops by and rescues her. As she is pulled on board, Cassiopeia collapsed while saying, Oh Allah, thank you. I don't know where to go, and She faints. Cassiopeia wakes up when the moon is high. She overhears, That's the end of the line. At least we saved one. There's a transmission made. We rescued one young yin from a remote village, returning to headquarters. Clear. Cassiopeia comes to terms with being the only survivor. Not wanting to distract the pilot or co-pilot, she directs her attention outside the window. In solace, Cassiopeia begins to realize how much of her world she missed while living solely in chivalry. Geographically, the village of chivalry was a pond compared to the great lakes she flies over. Tragically, 3 major cities she hovers over are no more than massive rings of fire. Every valley and open field she passes no longer seems functional. These cities dwarfed her village in comparison, but now they are similar in their silence. As they approach the highest mountain range of the governing city of Mares, her inner intelligence reminds her of a thought of the Andromeda's jingle. You may say you want to stay here forever, but it is worth it to let go and explore. She isn't home again, but she does feel like she's going to be safe. She feels an urge to remember she was put on this hill to survive, and she was taking it off, even if she doesn't know why, but she trusts that she'll discover it soon enough. The hovercraft returns to the landing docks at the Universal Networks headquarters. When Cassiopeia lands, she is brought into the Universal Networks main hall of history to meet Aryan. Aryan is the peace marshal of the Marsians' peace department. The moment Aryan sees Cassiopeia, he lights up and declares, Even though it's our first time meeting, I already knew you were coming. It's as if it was expected. It's an odd way to greet someone, causing Cassiopeia to become defensive. Sir, I had no intention on leaving chivalry today. I never intended on leaving my village ever. It has been quite an experience, and I do not know where I fit in outside of my valley. With a look of clear understanding, he says, seems like a reasonable and very normal curiosity, I assure you. Well then, we shall figure this out together. Today, we've all experienced great loss. My clan of 6 is now down to 2. My offspring, Omega, and I are coping very differently. Cassiopeia drops her guard. Oh, I'm so sorry. I had no idea, sir. Call me Ariyan, Aryan interjects. And let's talk over dinner. I'm famished. Are you hungry? Cassiopeia nods meekly, knowing she hasn't eaten all day. Not wanting to intrude, she asks, May I prepare it? Ecstatically, Aryan accepts. Oh, absolutely. With everything happening today, the staff was dismissed, and between us two, I think we could find our way around the kitchen, shall we? Cassiopeia and Aryan both find themselves making their way through the kitchen effortlessly. Cassiopeia gets the layout much quicker. She inquires, Will there be more joining us, or just us two? Aryan thinks, Perhaps Omega, my eldest offspring. I haven't a clue where he went off to. I'll ask the search team too, and see how many of them will stay on duty. In total, Cassiopeia prepared enough for 24 prana. More than enough. Astonished, Aryan asked, You certainly know your way around a large kitchen. Do you make large meals like this often? Yes, twice a day. I have, for my entire life. Well, since I've had 6 younger siblings, all Yangs, and my duality guardians, I cook for them. And we'd usually have about a dozen or so guests with us at all times. Aryan nods. I see. Did you often have visiting guests outside of your clan? Yes. My clan ran the Chivalry Hospitality Center in our village. Oftentimes, my siblings would try to help out in the kitchen, but I'd send them away to go clean on their daily guest room challenges and tasks. In exchange, I'd cook us all meals and clean up afterwards. The 9 of us ran the finest hospitality center. We were world renowned and known from all other villages. It was known by all other hospitality centers. Sure, we had our struggles, but always handled it with our love. There were no squabbles that would leave our kitchen that were not full of levee and kindness. And we had a working system. We were truly a clan run business. Elated, Arian tries to relate. Huzzah! I've never heard of a hospitality center, but that's our vision, too. Well, mine. See, I always wanted to have a clan run business. I always wanted it to be a working environment that acted and treated our workers as our own clan. My partner and offspring well, we never shared the same desires. They never wanted to work, but they were always willing to take my rewards. They love living on the mountain and using the credits I've established in this community. Well, they did. But they never listened to me. I wish I would have tried harder to keep them here today. He falls silent. Cassiopeia doesn't know what to do, so she keeps preparing food. Several moments pass before Arian jumps back in. Enough about me. What about your life? I'm ashamed to say I'd never even heard of chivalry up here as the peace department marshal. What was it like? The question seems to bring Cassiopeia alive, as if asked to put on a show. She begins to string together fragrant memories stringing together fond memories of her village. Chivalry was remarkable. Even if it was your first time navigating those streets, they generously propelled you over all of their worn cobblestones, down all their most lively alleyways, always leading with this lingering sense of nostalgia. Leaving my center today felt like stepping out of the mundane and into a world of magic. Staring up at that Tyranian sky with fresh eyes was like seeing the play of a memorized manuscript. With much wonder, I left my clan as they waved me off. Their giddiness and immeasurable excitement for me to leave was only matched by their anticipation of my return. They knew I'd bring back vibrant stories of my adventure. Cassiopeia starts mixing the food while continuing to speak. Chivalry has no strangers. Everyone is familiar. You see yourself in everyone you cross paths with. You feel it over and over again as you effortlessly guide yourself through this bustling crowd right where you're supposed to be. All of the songs are known by heart, and its rich aromas do not seem to end. At all hours of the day, the tunes and chimes that will gleam and gleam with the sweet scents of bread as they waft endlessly. Oh, and the colors! Never have you seen such pinks, yellows, and unnatural-looking blues. Cassiopeia's eyes begin to scintillate. Honest to Allah, I didn't even know teal or aqua existed until today. Today, Arian follows up. Was it different from yesterday or the day before? Cassiopeia shakes her head. I don't actually know. Today was the first day I've ever left my hospitality center since I was level 1. Arian is astonished. My word! Didn't your guardians let you out? Cassiopeia shrugs. I always declined. I said no need. I had everything I'd ever wanted there. My clan, my comforts, my work, my world. I only agreed to go out today because I turned level 18. I chose a confusing day to alleviate and discover beauty. Dumbfounded, Arian clarifies. Your descriptions of your town was all from one day. She nods. From one time out. She nods. And that one day happened to be today. She nods. And you just turned level 18 after discovering beauty? She nods and adds, and for what it's worth, I did discover beauty today, and everything that Allah had ever given me, and now I know not to levate anything because, well, He's gonna take it. It only leads to destruction. I just wish I didn't take anything. I wish I hadn't said yes to leaving today. I wish I would have stayed inside the hospitality center. Life was simpler inside of my center. Arian becomes uneasy with Cassiopeia's words. My dear, surely you don't mean that. I mean, if you stayed inside of your center, you would have not survived. She doesn't answer, continuing to combine ingredients. Arian, still uneasy, chooses to sit with his feelings for a little while longer. Arian collects himself enough to focus back on Cassiopeia as she starts to cook the food. This is a lot to unpack, and frankly, I do not know how you are so composed. Okay, what would you feel comfortable enough doing about living arrangements? Do you have any distant clan members that you know of? Cassiopeia does not answer. She just shakes her head. There were none that she knew, and even if she did, what were the chances that they survived? Aryan makes an offer. You may stay in my home for as long as you need to recover. I have more than enough room now, and it's... Cassiopeia stops preparing and interrupts. Oh, sir, no, I couldn't possibly... Aryan cuts her off. Please accept this generosity. It comes without any urgency to return to the working world, and it is by preparing this single elaborate meal you're working on, you've done more than my entire clan ever did. I insist. Honestly, I feel I'm doing this more for me than you, and your presence is needed here. You have the nerves of a goddess, trust me. Nothing he says phases her. He asked, how are you so calm? And